Good morning everyone. So welcome back all of you in your science class. And students, we have already started chapter 2, that is nutrition in animals, and we have discussed about the human digestive system. And now we know that digestion process is started from the mouth or buccal cavity, and in the mouth we know and in the buccal cavity consists the teeth, tongue and salivary glands. So the tongue pushes the chewed food into a short muscular tube that is called pharynx, and from pharynx the food goes into a long narrow muscular tube called food pipe or esophagus. As you can see in this figure also, this is a diagram of esophagus. Okay, and this esophagus or food pipe runs along the neck and the chest, and food is pushed down by the movement of wall of food pipe. So we can say that when the slightly digested food enters the food pipe, the walls of esophagus start contracting and expanding to push the food down into the stomach. So we can say that the walls of food pipe are responsible to pushing down the food into the stomach. So this is all about the movement of food, and by this movement the food is pushes down to the stomach, and this movement is done by the walls of esophagus. So we can say that after entering the food, or we can say chewed food, into the esophagus, the walls of esophagus start contracting and expanding to push the food down into the stomach. So now we will study about the stomach. The stomach is a thick walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened J, and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives food from the food pipe at one end and opens into the small intestine at the other. So we can say from esophagus the food goes to the stomach. Stomach is J-shaped and thick-walled organ present on the left side of the abdomen, and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. And the inner wall of stomach contain gastric glands, and these gastric glands we can say secrete the gastric or digestive juice or mucus and hydrochloric acid also. And the mucus protect the lining of stomach, and the acid that is known as hydrochloric acid kills the many bacteria that enter along with the food and make the medium in the stomach acidic, and help the digestive juice to act. We can say the digestive juice break down the protein into the simpler substances. So student, as we know that in the mouth salivary glands are present and they secrete saliva. Saliva is having an enzyme that is known as amylase, and that enzyme is responsible to convert the starch that is present in the food into the sugar. And in the stomach hydrochloric acid and mucus and digestive juices are there, and these digestive juices break down the protein into the simpler substances. So this is this digestion process is done in the stomach. Then after stomach, small intestine is there, that is the next part of alimentary canal, and the small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. It is about 7.5 meter long, and we can say it is arranged in the form of coil, and the small intestine receives secretion from two glands, that is liver and pancreas. Okay, and the liver is a reddish brown gland, and it is situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body, and it secretes bile juice which is stored in a sac called gallbladder that is located near the liver. And bile juice help in the digestion of fat. Fats are present as a big droplets in the food, because of which they cannot be digested easily. Bile juice break these big droplets of fat into small droplets and make their digestion and absorption easier. Then pancreas is there. The pancreas is a long cream colored gland located just below the stomach, and it secretes pancreatic juice and release it into the intestine. and the pancreatic juice act on carbohydrates and protein and changes them into the simpler form. Then intestinal juices are there. The partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine. Then digestion, which start in the mouth, is completed in the small intestine. The enzyme in the intestinal juice act upon the partially digested food and convert it into simple soluble substance. So as a result, we can say the carbohydrates get broken down into simple sugar as a glucose, and the fats get broken down into fatty acid and glycerol, and the protein get broken down into the amino acid. So we can say that in the small intestine complete digestion is there. Okay, so after digestion, the next process is, we can say, assimilation. But before assimilation, absorption is there. So absorption is also done in the small intestine. So the process of absorption occur in the small intestine. The inner wall of small intestine has millions of finger like projection or folds, we can say, that is called villi, and each villus has network of thin and small blood vessels called capillaries that is close to its surface, and these villi give the inner walls of the small intestine a large surface area for absorption of digested food, and the surface of the villi absorb the digested food material and passes them to fine blood capillaries, we can say. Then absorbed food is carried to all the cell of the body by the blood. So this food is utilized by the cell to release energy. So this is the process of assimilation. And what is the process of assimilation? We have discussed earlier that blood carries the absorbed food from the small intestine to different organs of the body where it is used. That is all about the assimilation. So in the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released, and food that remain undigested and unabsorbed enter into the large intestine. So this is all about the absorption and assimilation. So in this video we'll study this much only. So thank you and have a nice day.